What I'm going to say as well, actually, I should say the date, January 12th. I'll talk about challenge groups. I'm going to mute everyone out, but what I'm also going to say is that there's a chat button on the bottom. So at any time you have a question, just go ahead and type it there, and I'll make sure I cover it. I am going to talk super fast today because, again, I have a lot to cover. I might go over 9:30, and if I do, if you need to hang up, go ahead and hang up. But like I said, I've got a lot that I want to share with you guys. So I wanted to talk about challenge groups tonight because it's the beginning of the year. Some of us have been either a part of challenge groups or we've been co-hosting challenge groups. Maybe you're ready to kind of run your own, go solo, part ways from your sponsored coach, which is totally okay to run challenge groups. So I just wanted to share with you guys experiences for myself of the past 2.5 years at this point, things that worked for me, things that haven't worked for me. I also kind of asked questions across the board from some other coaches from different teams and got their feedback as well. So I apologize. It's going to be information overload, but it's a new year and I want you guys to just start thinking of different ways to approach challenge groups. So the first thing I'm going to say as far as challenge groups or accountability groups, whichever you want to call it, is we have to remember that we're not just in the business of network marketing, we're also in the business of attraction marketing. So if you're creating names for your groups, it should be something that is going to attract others to be a part of it. And so if you've done something generic, don't be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that before. This is a learning lesson. I used to do the same thing. You want to create names that are going to be specific to your target audience or to your niche. And perhaps you feel like, oh my gosh, I don't really have a niche yet. I don't really have a target audience. The reality is that you do. And if you haven't figured that out yet, my recommendation, and if you want to write follow-up or next step in your notebook, is to write 30 characteristics of yourself. That's who realistically you're going to be working with. Sometimes we hype it up in our head that we need to create this special person or this special target audience. Who you are is going to attract other followers. Who you are is going to attract people to want to join you. So if you don't have a specific, like I said, target audience, write down 30 characteristics of yourself and don't put it around just fitness. Put it around maybe you like Lululemon or Old Navy workout gear, or maybe, you're into crock pot meals, those kind of things. And that again is what's going to get people to connect to you. So when you're thinking of names for your challenge groups, your accountability groups, again, you want it to be specific to that group. If you do something general, I wrote a couple of names down, and if you've done any of these, this is nothing against you. I just did a Google search. The summer slim down, right? Not everyone wants to lose weight. Maybe, or what else did I see? Be bikini ready in 21 days. Not everyone wants to wear a bikini, and that's cool. That's their own prerogative. For me, I work with moms specifically postnatal within 2 years of having a baby. 99% of the time, it's not their goal to wear a bikini. It's just to lose some of the weight from their pregnancy. So I try to create names that are going to hit home with them. And so some of you guys saw my post. The reality of it is that all of us have friends on Facebook, and those friends on Facebook, believe it or not, have 3 or more friends that are Beachbody coaches that are also pitching challenge groups to them. So when it comes to event page, what name is going to be scroll stopping? Just like your post, right? Your post should be scroll stopping, a name should be scroll stopping. So I'll give you a couple examples of my own that have been really, really hit home and my messages blew up. My epic one, I think, Lynn, you are a part of this one, was Mommy Gets Her Groove Back, which I'm going to bring back next month. I'm telling you, I did not imagine people talking about this. People were just, without me encouraging them, putting it in their Facebook statuses. It was like, Mommy got her groove back, attacking me. I'm like, whoa. And so what I spoke to was moms finding themselves again. And that's what they wanted. That's what they needed to hear. I think back in July, we did Fire It Up in July. So we did a play on 4th of July, but really talked to moms about how to fire it up inside their souls and really get excited that even though it's summer, they could still hit their goals. So you want to think about, again, who you want to work with and how not to make it so generic. A friend of mine did Oh, I love this one. New Year Knockout, but it wasn't about like knockout being hot. She did like graphics with like all about inner strength, and she had like boxing gloves, and she did this whole thing about like women empowerment, which I thought was pretty cool. And she also shared another one that she did. She did something called Stronger Transformation, but it was written strong and then in parentheses her transformation. I mean, I asked her for her specific graphic, so I'll share on both team pages when she sends it over. And that she actually did more about like internal and mental growth. So those are just a couple ideas as far as thinking about names and again, attraction marketing. A couple of other tips on this. Try not to use stock photo before and afters. It doesn't resonate with anyone, guys. It doesn't scream, let me work with you. I know as well, we see a lot of Beachbody before and afters. Let Beachbody corporate do their thing using those before and afters. That's going to attract their audience, which will essentially give you free leads when you get into Emerald's ranking and all that other stuff. The reality is that you want to use your own before and afters or your clients' before and afters if they gave permission. Never share anything unless they give permission, guys, or a team member. So for instance, myself, I've been coaching for 3 years now. I've only used one of my own before and afters when I did the 3-day clients. I never really had a huge amount of weight to lose. So I don't really have much to show, but I've used a lot of my clients. Lynn, before she was even a client, I think we even used one of yours. Michal, a lot of you guys know Michal. So don't be afraid to ask other coaches, hey, can I use your before and after and share their story? People are nosy. They want to know stories. And if you pinpoint those stories that connect and resonate with them, they're going to naturally ask for more information without you guys saying, hey, message me for more info. They're going to say, hey, I see you working with all these people. What do you have coming up next that I can be a part of? So you want to steer clear from, like I said, stock photo and the Beachbody before and afters. And again, if you guys have done some of these things in the past, don't freak out. It's a learning experience. If you guys haven't tried it yet, I'm looking at my notes if you keep wondering why I'm looking to the side. If you guys haven't used it yet, check out PicMonkey or Canva. And these are two tools that you can use to create banner photos or any other kind of images that you want to use for your challenge or accountability groups. So Canva or PicMonkey. I believe Canva is free. PicMonkey, there is a fee for the year. It's really cheap. It's super low. So that way you can have like all access to like everything. It's pretty cool. You can get suckered into it, but you could check out YouTube for tutorials on PicMonkey or Canva. All right, guys, I'm moving on. I'm going to talk about free 5-day groups for a minute. So if you're a new coach, let's say 6 months or under, or you're a coach that you're just starting to get active within the business, I highly recommend a free 5-day group for a couple of months and only running one per month. And there's a couple of reasons for this. One, if you're a new coach, all of a sudden you're announcing to the world you're a new coach, and your best friend is going to call you out and be like, girl, what are you talking about? We were at TGI Fridays last week, and we had some, potato skins and nachos and wings, and now you want to tell me you're a coach? Get out of here. And now it's like, but I really want to do this, right? Like, it almost hurts you. So the free 5-day groups kind of helps you position yourself, gain loyalty, and let people get to know where you're taking this coaching thing. I look at it as also like a free trial membership. Sometimes when we get involved with things, whether it be for our kids or for ourselves, we like to have, a free trial before we know what we're investing ourselves into and what we're going to get involved in. So I have a couple of tips for free groups, all right? First and foremost, make sure that person signs up for a free Beachbody account. You guys don't do what I did in the beginning. I didn't have people do this. And months later, I found out people that I was coaching was getting Shakeology, and I lost that commission. I know it's not all about the money, but our time is valuable. And when we put the hard work and effort, I basically gave money away. I basically gave business away to other coaches, which was crazy and silly. So always have them sign up for a free Beachbody account. I've turned people away before who would not sign up for a Beachbody account. I'm like, dude, you're not paying any money for this group. That's all you have to do is sign up for an account. I'm not asking for your credit card info. So that is definitely a mandatory requirement for my free groups. My other thing is that the reality of it is that when they're not putting money in, there's no skin in the game. So your engagement, your participation tends to be low with the free group. So I've actually in the past have made my free challengers jump through hoops. You want to be in my free group, you need to bring a friend. Now, think about that. I just got myself a referral and added to my network all at once, right? So I've added someone not only to my challenge group, but now I'm adding someone into my network. They're seeing what I'm doing on Facebook, and I'm building up rapport with them. So if you get 5 people in a free group and you have them each bring a friend, you just added 5 people to your network in less than a week, really in a couple of days. And then if you ask those 5 people you just met to bring a friend as well, now you added 10 people to your network. So you see how it kind of all builds up and up and up. And a lot of times, I'm not going to lie, a lot of my free challengers, they didn't buy into a paid challenge group right away. It took a lot of time. I have one challenger right now that didn't sign up with me for 6 months. And a year later, she finally bought a challenge pack. So some people take really long. Some people jump on board really, really fast. It all depends on where they're at. But like I said, I would definitely recommend doing a whole refer a friend or bring a friend with you. Another idea I've done with a free group that's really worked in the past, and I'm bringing this back as well, partner up with another network marketing representative or person, not within Beachbody, outside of Beachbody. I did free group with a pampered chef consultant. And this was really cool because we dived into like clean eating, and we were both able to kind of, position ourselves within the group, myself for the fitness end and her end for, kitchen gadgets and utensils. And what we did was she used the Fixate cookbook I passed along to her. We picked out recipes and we did videos each day. So I would do like a morning wake up video, and in the afternoon or evening, she would do a video showing how she was making one of the recipes from the Fixate cookbook. So we were able to kind of bring it to life and get people involved and engaged with it. But I will say this, and Rodan and Fields as well. You could do like a health and wellness type of group. Regardless of who you work with in either one of those network marketing companies, it's really important, guys, that you have a sit down and a discussion with them about the expectations. Because some of them go really hard in sales, right? Some of them are like, hey, buy this from me. If you buy it from me tonight, I'll give you this free gift and 20% off it. That's not how I roll. A lot of you guys have worked with me or seen my posts or seen how I pitch and share. I don't go buy this challenge pack for me and you're going to save this now. I just don't do it. So make sure you just have that conversation with whoever that person is. My Pampered Chef consultant and I, we have like a really, really great relationship. And we did like a whole fun point system and we gave rewards out, but never once said you have to buy this or check out these deals and savings. So that was another way that I was able to add to my network because we came into agreement that we both had to bring in at minimum 5 people. So she brought in 5 people, I brought in 5 people, and we did the whole bring a friend rule. And so I ended up adding 15 people to my network within 1 week. All right, so those are just a couple ideas. I'm skimming my notes to make sure I didn't skip anything because I get really excited about this. And with the free 5-day groups, I know we want to often share with them workouts and exercises. Some people feel uncomfortable to offer out Beachbody on demand because the free membership, you have to put up a credit card. And at times when we're saying, oh, join us for free, you're like, oh, now a credit card, I seem kind of sketchy or shady. So my recommendations would be to use Tony Horton Acceleration Series workouts that are on YouTube. And I will post these links, guys, at the end of our call on both team pages so you guys have them. That has worked really, really well. And also Autumn Calabrese has a series of videos on YouTube. I don't recommend using things like Turbo Kick, which is Shalene's live class, only because they're not going to be able to have that same experience if they invest into a product, right? Like the live classes are so different than the actual programs. So I would recommend, like I said, Autumn Calabrese and Tony Horton Acceleration Series. And you could even mix and match those exercises and workouts. Any questions? I'm flying through this info. Are we good so far, guys? Thumbs up.
Can I ask a question, Kiara?
Yeah, absolutely.
As far as partnering up with another marketer, how do you go about doing that? Like, how do you decide what kind of person you want to partner with? And what's the purpose aside from building your network in doing that?
Sure, absolutely. So when I partner up. Actually, I actually had two Pampered Chef consultants approach me on it at the same time. And one is very, very, very pushy. In fact, it's actually affected our friendship, to be honest with you, because every time we meet up for a play date, it's, oh, don't forget, we can have a Pampered Chef party at your house. And it just makes me feel really uncomfortable. So I really had to pick someone that was going to be on my same page as me. And really, again, be on complete agreement with how we want to approach it. So I would say it'd be more about just getting to know that person. If you have someone within your network that is, like I said, a part of Pampered Chef or part of Rodan and Feels, and just having a discussion with them and approach like, hey, I have some ideas. Do you mind meeting with me? And hey, they might have some ideas as well. Like the girl that I partnered with, Pampered Chef, had awesome ideas. I think we're also in the process of doing like a live, like clean eating workshop here in our neighborhood together. So I think it's really about, seeking out and seeing what they're doing and how they're positioning themselves on Facebook before approaching them. But I think network marketing is growing. So
I'm sorry, how do you find these people? Is there like a site you go to, or?
They were friends of mine.
Okay.
Yeah, they were friends of mine. But if it's something you're interested in, Kaisha, you don't have friends that are involved with Pampered Chef and such, let me know, and I have plenty.
I've never even heard of it before, so.
Yeah, so definitely research it first before, again, getting involved with it, and then checking out if it's something that it's really interesting for you. Like I said, I can help match you up with that person. Cool. All right, guys, I'm going to dive into the next part, which is 7-day, 10-day, and 14-day challenge groups. Okay, so 7-day, 10-day, and 14-day challenge groups. So these groups, I'm going to be honest with you, are a little tricky to be able to close on challenge pack sales. I hate the word sales, but you guys know where I'm coming from with this. So 7, 10, 14-day challenge groups. So let's say you've run a couple of free groups, you're over it. I don't blame you. Your time is valuable. Or you're just really not into running free groups and you want something where people are going to invest in up front. I recommend going with a 7, 10, or 14-day, or heck, you could even do a 5-day group. But in these groups, what you want to utilize is letting them experience Shakeology. So let's be honest. I'm sure every single one of us on this call has had an objection. That costs too much money. I'm not going to do this right now. And this allows them to kind of see that value before making the larger investment. So if you have individual Shakeology packets, I usually sell them for $5 a bag. So I make a little return on my investment. And I always charge shipping. I did it in the beginning, so don't make my mistake because shipping adds up. So I would charge for shipping as well. And on the Shakeology packet, I don't have one next to me. On the Shakeology packet, I print out a label and I put it on all my packets. And on that label, it has my name, my coach ID, my Shakeology URL, and one other form of contact. So for me, I'm terrible with phone calls. Like if you call me, it's a slim to none chance I'm calling you back. I just forget. I don't know why. So for me, I put my email address on. I'm really good with email. So like I said, my name, my coach ID, my Shakeology URL, and my email. I do this for 2 reasons. One, although they've already signed up for a free Beachbody account, again, just like my free group, my 7, 10, 14-day groups, they have to sign up for their free Beachbody membership or free Team Beachbody account. On top of that, it triggers a reminder if they liked it after the 7 or 10 days. Maybe they'll want to be a part of an accountability group and they're good solo. They'll go right to the website and get their Shakeology. Some people will ask, what's the next step? Some others will just, oh, I like this. Let me go right on. The second reason is that I've had this happen to me before. They'll have their packets on their counter or on their coffee table, and they have a friend over, and their friend is like, oh, what's that Shakeology about? What are you drinking that? And all of a sudden, they're like blabbing off, oh, I'm a part of this accountability group. I'm trying this out. Do you want to try it? So 2 things will happen. One, their friend is going to take a picture of your contact info and reach out to you. Ding, 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 referral. Or 2, they're going to, again, invite their friend and say, hey, I have a friend that would be interested in this challenge group. Can they be involved? Again, referrals. That's what it's a huge part of this business. So again, it's a shorter term, I'll say, commitment, and it'll lessen the price objection. So you do, let's say, I don't do math in my head, a 10-day group, $5 a packet. What is that? $50. Yes, Meredith, I will unmute you. Where are you? Here we go. Okay, go ahead,
Do
Meredith.
you, do you always sell the individual packs, or do you do the sample packages as well on, do you do the sample
So I've done it mixed.
packs?
I haven't done it in a while with the sample packs because I feel like it gives you one of every flavor. And I
Yeah.
like for me, like Greenberry in my 3 years of coaching, I have like one client on Greenberry. She swears by
I
it.
have
It's
one.
cool for
I
her.
have one.
I'm like, good for you, but I have no interest in Greenberry, so I don't have Greenberry packets on me. So I usually try to ask them like what they would prefer, and I will mix and match if they would like. But some people are like, I just want to try chocolate. Cool, I'll give them just chocolate. So I feel like when I give it to them, it gives them a little bit more options.
Okay.
But the sampler pack, can be great too if they're open to try one of every flavor.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel like as well, like in the beginning for me, when I tried just one packet, it wasn't enough because I screwed up that first packet, right? So I screwed up that whole flavor. So if I have, I usually say, hey, this is your first time, try just only half a packet first. It does take at least 2 to 3 tries to find the right mix or recipe for you.
Tell my
Yeah.
husband that because he won't listen to me.
That's what I try to kind of give like my disclaimer beforehand. Like your first one, it's most likely going to come out downright terrible. But your second or third one is so when they have those backups to keep using and trying, I feel like I have a higher percentage of conversion that way. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Cool.
Yes.
That was a great question though. I'm going to mute you back out. Cool. So, like I said, that's also a way to get referrals by having those labels on your packets. Another suggestion, I used to do this in the beginning, and I don't know why I stopped it, but for some reason I did. But something I used to do in the beginning was a fit pack, right? So people love to feel things in their hands. People love packages. And so I used to buy it from this girl from Etsy because she had it like all nicely designed. I have her URL and I'll post it as well. But she did this fit pack where not only did they get Shakeology packets and they are Shakeology recipes nicely printed on this card, but she had mini workouts on these cards as well, which is pretty cool, right? So it was like already preset and packaged. And she also had like recipe ideas on cards. So again, they're having this something tangible in their hands. And again, make sure you have your label on everything you give out because you don't want to miss out on the possibility of referrals or just a longer term client. So I'll send that URL too. You guys can check it out or maybe just even replicate your own and save money. I don't remember it being that expensive, but it was something that you can just download and print yourself. And again, being able to kind of send out more than Shakeology packets. And I always did like a handwritten note just to thank you for your business. I'm really old school like that. Like I'm not big into like just thanks for your business during Messenger because it's forgetful. But if I send a card, for some reason, I feel like it's a longer lasting impression. So with both of these kind of groups, whether you're doing a free day or these like shorter term groups, 7, 10, 14 days, you want to strategically place them on a calendar. So for example, I host a 21-day paid group the first Monday of every month. Okay. So if I'm going to do a free group, I want to aim it to be the second week of the month. So my third week of the month, I'm focusing on converting them. And by the fourth week of the month, they've bought hopefully a challenge pack and they roll right into my paid 21-day groups. Okay, I've even done it like the third week of the month and then the fourth week kind of close them only because I've gotten into the practice of closing people pretty quickly. And my closing rate, I think, is like 90%. So I've been able to kind of make it a little bit closer. But if you're someone that feels like you need a little bit more time, go ahead and do it like the second week, especially if you're doing like a 10-day. So you give yourself that time to build up for that next group. So what it means is that by the end of that shorter term group, you just got to know your details for that next upcoming group and hook them right away for the close. Cool. I got all my notes for 7, 10, and 14 days. All right, guys, I know a lot of info, but I hope this is all valuable to you. So I have 21-day and longer groups. Now, personally, I've never done anything longer than a 30 or anything longer than a 21-day. I've never done a 30-day or a 60-day group. Like To me, 21 days, by the end of the 21 days, my participation is dipping. And 30 and 60-day groups, again, try it. I am not saying don't try it. Just know you got to really have content that's going to keep them in the loop and keep them going. So in my 21-day groups, ideally, I try to, close them on challenge packs. Of course, if there's something like I'm allergic to Shakeology, I'll give them a fitness program, a case-by-case basis. They're pregnant, their doctor said, no, they can't be on Shakeology. Great, let's just do a fitness program, whatever it might be. But ideally, again, it's my idea for it is challenge packs. Now, 21-day groups, in the past, what's really worked well is having themed out days or theme overall for the month, right? So Motivation Monday, never miss a Monday. I think we've done Tasty Tuesday. My favorite was Turn It Up Tuesday. I think, Lynn, you might have been in this group, and Kaisha, you might have been as well. I busted out dance moves to like Boys to Men for Turn It Up Tuesday, and I asked my challengers to share with me their favorite songs that would get them fired up. And even some participants were like uploading themselves dancing. Like, it was awesome. Like, so just think of like creative things outside the box. Oh gosh, the one that's never worked well for me, but I know it's worked well for other coaches, is Wacky Wednesday, where like you do an exercise in a wacky spot and upload it. For some reason, it's never really worked well for me, but I've seen other coaches like post their challengers doing like planks on the top of their like SUVs. I'm like, well, clearly you don't live in like New York City, because cars just drive way too fast over here. We don't have driveways. So, but they've done fun things like just squats in a grocery store. But a wacky workout Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, chugging your water. What I do? Oh, I did Flex Friday or Fist Pumping Friday. So just different things like that that'll get people engaged is also fun. And so I'm going to talk about now with as far as 21 days and longer term groups, rollovers, right? I don't know how some of you guys do this, but I made a really big mistake when I started doing 21-day groups. Really, really big mistake. I started signing people up with challenge packs, and I promised them they would have access to my challenge groups for eternity for buying that one challenge pack. Now, my heart's in the right place. I want to help people. I genuinely do. But let's be honest, guys. Running challenge groups takes time away from your family, right? It takes time away from your personal life. Your time is valuable. So comes around 4 or 5 months later, my fiance, who owns a personal training studio, asks me, how many women do you have in this group this month? I'm like, I've got 40 plus women. This is awesome. I'm sitting on the couch 3 hours a night responding to posts and messages. He goes, well, how much money did you bring in this month? I brought in zero. I brought in $0 because people were canceling Shakeology and they were on fitness programs and had nothing to go back to him to say. He basically said, you're disrespecting your own time. Respect your time. Your time is valuable. It doesn't matter if you're a fitness professional or not, guys. Like, you are a coach, and at the end of the day, you're still providing a service. You're guiding them. You're motivating them. You're encouraging them. So what I've done now is they have to get a challenge pack or, like I said, a fitness program. They're allowed in my groups for the length of that fitness program. So if they're PIO, they're allowed in my groups for 2 months without having to upgrade or get a new program, right? So they're in my group for 60 days. If they're doing 21-day fix, I'll allow 2 rounds. The other thing was happening was that I would have people that are like, yeah, I'm still doing PIO. I don't need a new program. Well, you've been on PIO for 7 months and I haven't seen a progress photo. Your butt is not on PIO anymore. Let's just be real. Let's call a spade here. I wouldn't mind it if I was seeing progress. I wouldn't mind it if my client said, I want a 3rd round of 21-day fix. Here's my results so far. I'll work with that. Or they're bringing referrals. But when they're not bringing referrals and they're not showing progress photos, guys, that's a problem. So like I said, I allow them for the length of it. I've also converted 90% of my challengers on demand. I look at on demand as an online membership. If you guys are not using on demand, get on it. That is 40% commission. And I will be open about my pay. I average out every week on Beachbody On Demand subscriptions to over $200 a week lately. So you guys do the math, okay? Because it's a small number of payout, but I'm at over $200 weekly of Beachbody On Demand. And think about it, they're paying quarterly, right? So I kind of staggered it where I'm getting it weekly. All right, so Beachbody On Demand is where it's at, and especially because they're updating that system where you can open up certain programs. I think like T25 and a few others are being accessible. So On Demand, obviously Shakeology, so I give them the option. They're either on demand or they're on Shakeology, or heck, even both. Better results that way. So lesson of that, value your time. All right, guys, you are worth it. Believe that you are worth it. All right, I know I'm over time, so if you guys need to hang up, go ahead and do so. I just have a few more things I'm going to cover off with you, which is evaluating your groups at the end. So this is more of like an evaluation of yourself as a coach. So a couple of things on this. Ask for referrals. Don't be afraid to ask for referrals. I ask for referrals non-stop in a non-obnoxious manner, of course. I ask them through private message. If they, once they bought a fitness program or a challenge pack, I say, hey, do you by any chance know of any friends or family members that would also benefit from this group? More than likely, they're going to say, yeah, let me ask. And more than likely, the more you continue to over-deliver in a customer service aspect, they're going to bring people around. The past 10 months, I've averaged out to at least 2 referrals per month. So, and if I close them on challenge packs, that's at least 4 success club points right there off of referrals. All right. So definitely ask for referrals. I also reward for referrals. They send me a referral, I'll send them like energy and endurance packets. It doesn't have to be anything overly expensive, guys. Energy and endurance packets, a Shakeology shaker cup. Sometimes if I have apparel laying around or I've got the Shakeology workouts around, I'll send those to them with a handwritten thank you note. Again, I'm all about delivering something that's going to bring them, that's going to be memorable to them. So I ask for referrals before my challenge group has started. During my challenge group, like right now, I've reminded them, hey, if you've got friends that can benefit from this, bring them on. And at the end of my challenge groups, I always ask for referrals as well. We have this next group coming up, and I always try to tell them, your friend or family member might not look like they need to lose weight. This is not just about weight loss. This is a lifestyle, and some people need an outlet. Why not bring them into this community? Think about what this online accountability group has done for you and what it can do for someone else. All right, because we never know what's happening behind closed doors or behind the scenes of someone else's life. And that's what I try to remind my challengers of as well. And sure enough, like I said, the referrals I get, they'll open up to me and be like, please don't tell my friend this. Of course not, it's all confidential, but it reminds me to remind them there's a story behind every person's door. Let's bring them on board into this community and let them be a part of it as well. So when I say evaluate your groups, guys, if you aren't getting at least 1 referral per month, think about your customer service and how you're delivering, okay? Progress photos as well. So all my challengers, I ask for them to send me I've now started saying starting photos versus before photos. You want them to bring them, give you starting photos. I remind them this is confidential. I don't share anything unless given permission, right? Because I want to respect their privacy. And it's not easy taking that first photo. Let's just admit it. A lot of us probably were like sweating when we had to do it ourselves. So we want to give them that feeling that they can be comfortable with us, because that's really, really important. And then obviously getting their after photos. If you have someone that's heavily participating in your group and they've gotten 0 results, again, you have to reevaluate how you're coaching them. And so I know our job is to inspire, it's to encourage, it's to motivate our challengers, but our job is also to educate our challengers. And what I tell my challengers is that this journey is going to be exciting. It's going to be exhilarating, but it's also going to be freaking frustrating, because you're going to hit plateaus, but we're going to knock them through together. But my job as your coach is to not only educate you, but I'm going to have to give you tough love sometimes. And I'm doing it because I care about you. I care about your results. And the reality of it is that you invested in you by getting a program through me. But you've also invested in me as a coach, and I am going to give you the best I can. Some people are going to resist you. They're going to fight you. Don't take it personally. It's their own mental transformation. And if you're someone who has lost a lot of weight, you will know personally there's a lot of mental and emotional battles that you go through that you might not necessarily want to share. And people take it out on you. For me personally, I work a lot with women that are suffering through postpartum depression. I'm at a point now that I can read their messages, and before they've admitted it, I know they're going through postpartum depression. So you just got to figure out your wording and your phrasing. And you can even say, I'm going to give you tough love right here, right now, and know it comes from a good place in my heart. Here's what you got to do to fix it. Okay? If you're getting less than 25% of your participants before and after photos, again, say to yourself, what do I have to fix to make my next challenge group bigger and better? Because if you're over delivering, giving excitement, and getting results, you will again get referrals. And heck, you might get coaches, which is what we all want as well, right? So I'm going to go into how to convert into coaches. You guys are such troopers hanging on tight here. So, you know, a lot of us get really nervous to invite to the coaching opportunity. And I want you to eliminate that nervousness. I want you to eliminate that part. I want you to think about what the benefits are for that. The benefit for you as being a coach now, think about it. You're around people that you love to get to know. You're learning more about yourself, which is awesome, right? And so we tend to overhype or go overboard in the invitation process. So what I always say is you want to start off your first week by praising your participants. Praise that person, get them excited. Oh my gosh, you are doing awesome. You're inspiring others. Way to take the lead. Or I've had someone that was like infamous for that first workout video of the day or post-workout selfie of the day. I would say, oh my gosh, way to be a leader of the pack. I just planted the seed. Way to be a leader of the pack, right? So the next week or the next conversation, it goes into, wow, you're so inspiring. Thank you so much for sharing such awesome recipe ideas. Boom. I planted the seed. So as I close out my challenge group, I then say, hey, I think you would be an amazing coach. Have you ever, or sorry, I don't always say the word coach because that can intimidate people. I usually say, hey, you've been such a rock star in my group. Have you ever considered doing what I'm doing? Because the word coach can intimidate people and say, oh, I can't coach. Have you ever considered doing what I'm doing? Now it's brought them to your level. If they say, no, I haven't, can you give me more information? Awesome. You have several next steps. 1, you can speak to your sponsored coach and get them on a one-on-one call. 2, you can ask your sponsored coach if they have a coach open house coming up and invite them to that. Or 3, rock on and try it out yourself, guys. All right. And don't be afraid to try it yourself. I promise. It's not as scary as it seems. And so again, you want to take, originally I took the challengers that were heavily participating, and that's how I asked. And I recently got really good advice. I friends with a coach who's, just is a 4-star diamond coach, and kind of asked her tips and her secrets. She said she asks everyone in her challenge group, regardless. Have you ever considered what I'm doing? And she takes a characteristic of them to make them feel like a superstar and recruits them that way. So it's trial and error. You're going to figure out what works for you. Just because that works for her doesn't mean it's going to work for me. I always like to say, make sure it's someone that you want to work with. Because there ain't nothing like working with someone that you really don't want to work with, guys. It makes it torturous. All right? So you want to make sure it's someone you want to work with. And so I did a lot of overviews. You guys can feel free to message me, ask me questions on the side, or set up a one-on-one call. In the next coming weeks, we're going to do more about the invitation process to challenge groups, more about recruiting coaches and closing. I'm going to try to get a couple of guest speakers on for you guys as well. But overall, I think that's everything I have. A couple of tips or a couple of tools that I use, like I said, is Canva and PicMonkey. I also use Wufoo for a questionnaire, and that questionnaire is actually a commitment form to all my challengers. I could post those questions up, or an example of my questionnaire to you guys. I will post the Etsy link and the workout links. And I think that's everything I got to share with you guys. Anyone have any questions? I just overloaded you guys. I'm going to unmute every single one of you, and you guys should chime in. Cool. Anyone have questions?
No.
No.
Are you guys fired up? You're like, you guys give me the nervous laugh. Does this at least inspire or trigger some ideas to start thinking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's my best advice, guys, because like I said, I know I overloaded with info. Go through your notes, whatever you wrote, follow up on, or you highlight it. Take one idea first, run with it, then come back to your notes. So even set a reminder on your phone, like, all right, I want to hit this idea. I'm going to go back to my notes. I'm going to hit the second idea and the third idea. Don't do everything at once. All right.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, guys. Great night.
Like teaming up with like another, like a Rodans and Field. Like my cousin does Rodans and Field. Have you done one of those, or have you just done the Pampered Chef?
I just done the Pampered Chef. I am in talk right now with someone with Rodan and Fields on.
Okay.
And so I have my meeting with her later on this week, and I'll be more than happy to share with you kind of how I outline that. That one's going to be a little bit of a tricky one. It's going to be more of like a health and a wellness thing, and kind of more of like, again, I work a lot with moms, so targeting moms to pamper themselves and kind of, health, fitness, and how it can all come together.
Taking care of yourself to be a better mom type deal.
Yeah.
When you take care of yourself, you can be a better mom.
Right. I mean,
Okay.
look at moms across the board. Like, I mean, especially, newer moms. I mean, how many times have you heard a new mom say, like, I don't remember the last time I showered, right? So let's keep them watching their faces,
Yeah.
or, moms that just don't even want to take pictures because they feel like they're a hot mess, right? So technology is going to help you not skip that meal, right? I can't help you if your outfits are still mixed matching, or you run out and you realize there's vomit on the back of your shirt. It happens to all of us. But I'm going to help you get your face washed at least at night, like kind of along those lines.
Okay.
Kind of talk in their lingo. But like I said, I could share Meredith with you once I speak to that person.
Okay. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, again, just thinking outside the box, something different, and partnering up,
Yeah.
Meredith, I don't think we're friends on Facebook, so I'll friend request you tonight.
Thanks. Awesome.
Okay.
All right, ladies, thank you so much. I know I
Thank you.
over, but again, I hope it was super helpful.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thanks. I'm going to stop.